I received spiritual direction from a Hindu pulmonologist. I expected that he'd want to talk about my CPAP machine, but to receive spiritual direction, I didn't see that one coming. And it was sound direction as well. What did he say? We'll get to that in a moment. The apostle said to the Lord, "Increase our faith." Jesus said, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you. And he also said, in another gospel, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. I used to wonder how that worked. Another time the apostles were with Jesus in a boat. While he slept, a windstorm swept down on the lake, and the boat was filling with water, and they were in danger. And I've seen this happen. All of a sudden, the wind comes from high above in the desert in Syria, and it goes from east to west and sweeps down into the valley onto the lake, and just suddenly there are whitecaps. Well, the apostles went to Jesus and woke him, shouting, "Master, Master, we are perishing." And he woke up and rebuked the wind and calmed the waves. And there was calm. He said to them, "Why are you afraid? Have you no faith?" Why are you afraid? Have you no faith? I used to wonder how that worked also. A woman who put her faith in the doctors of her day and to whom she gave all of her money, though her condition got even worse, said, "If I but touch his clothes, I will be made well." Well, she snuck up behind him and touched his cloak. Immediately her hemorrhage stopped. She felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. Now what comes next used to puzzle me the most. First, Jesus was aware that power had gone forth from him. And second, he turned and said to her, "Your faith has made you well." What then is the relationship between power and faith? How can either one heal or move mulberry trees or mountains? Power went out from Jesus, the woman was healed, and it was her faith that healed her. As if there is this stuff in Jesus that is called power, and the same stuff in human beings is called faith. It is the same stuff, I believe. The term for it depends only on who possesses it. Another way of saying it is this: our faith is God's power working in us. And that solves a mystery for me. How could these mighty events be possible if faith is a strong form of belief, or a weak form of knowledge, or just wishing really hard? But if faith is the power of God, then clearly mountains may be moved. So why don't we do more with this wonderful stuff, our faith and God's power? I think fear gets in the way. Jesus and the disciples were on the Sea of Galilee during that storm. Jesus calmed the wind and the sea, and he said to his apostles, "Why are you afraid? Have you no faith?" Why are you afraid? Have you no faith? As if fear is the opposite of faith. So if we lack faith, then we lack the power of God, and fear is the result. How can we dispel our fears and get this faith? How can we experience the power of God? Note that when the woman touched Jesus' clothes, she was healed. He did not turn around and consciously heal her. He only felt his power go forth from him. It appears that she just walked up to him and got it. It was available to her when their paths crossed. Think of how many other people crossed paths with Jesus and experienced the power of God. The question then is, where can we cross paths with Jesus? Well, here in this place, for one, where the gospel is preached, where we specifically state our beliefs using the words of the creeds, where we pray for the whole world, and where we receive the real presence of Christ in the Holy Communion and in the other sacraments. But faith is not some little talisman to hang on to. This power is not to be accessed willy-nilly or for selfish purposes. I like the title of the book, which I haven't read, called Holding God Hostage, When Faith Becomes Presumption. Holding God Hostage, when faith becomes presumption. Faith and power have a purpose, and the purpose is always God's. So another place we cross paths with Jesus is in our Monday through Saturday lives, working out God's purposes for us. When we help poor, lonely, hungry people, when we pray for people who have persecuted us, or when we need God's power to help us love our enemies or forgive offenders, or when we need the courage to tell others about Jesus Christ. And God's purposes are worked out in as many ways as there are people in this room. Now, what did my Hindu doctor say? Well, among other things, he said, believe in your faith. Believe in your faith. Well, I completely agree, because our faith is a gift from God, and the power of God working in us for God's good purposes. Now, I would say, let's get busy with all of that ministry that seems, just seems, impossible.